And right now, Banks is playing with a lot of confidence. Nails the triple. He has scored all 8 St. Peter's points, and the Peacocks are up by 1.
It's one of the things with Banks struggling a little bit as of late. It's good to see him get his shot off.
The leaner goes for tight.
This ball up the floor, at least staying with him a little bit.
Kentucky in big trouble.
Yeah, he's got a layup out of it, go for it. But they're going to look, taking a little time off the clock.
St. Peter's up by 5. 3. Oh. Good! Ty Washington! 8.
Looks good. Sure does. And one thing you'll notice about Tennessee, man, they are big. Plapchich is big. Huntley Hatfield is big. We take a look at today's starting lineup brought to you by Kay Jewelers, Wheeler, and Washington. Grady is a terrific shooter. Sheboy will kick it to Washington, who had the big game last night and gets the floater to go. For the floater, that's good. That's that float game I'm talking about. It's a big sequence there. What looked like it might have been a three-point play. You missed the free throw, and they get an easy layup. Washington floats that in. I'm telling you, he's not going to.
Was so player-driven, and it was driven by Kennedy Chandler. He was talking the entire time, and every player seated was chatting with one another, listening to what the coaches were telling them, and offering their own insight.
Opportunity goes away.
Is that high, flat butt screen again, right?
Washington with a steal. He's got Brooks and Sheboy behind him. He challenges and goes up and under on Huntley Hatfield. Chandler lost it. Washington's got Sheboy sprinting with him. A challenge, and it's down to 8.
Size of Tennessee at that 4 and 5 spot can just swallow clubs up.
Wheeler penetrates, and then he'll kick. Washington's 3. Yes, it does go down. Timeout, says Cal.
Because of the injuries, but they need a huge game from Robbins.
Here's Ty Washington. Sheboy, offensive board. 1 out of 5. Kentucky misses. End up with Sheboy. That great touch. He ended up next to the standard. He's late getting down the floor. Kentucky will push.
You want to pull off an upset, you got to get some unexpected production. Vanderbilt's getting it right now.
7th free throw attempt of the year. He was only a 3-star recruit. Came into this year as the preseason player of the year in the league.
And I think the good news for Vanderbilt is it's not been the Pippen show. They've tried that before with him scoring over 30. If they're going to beat Kentucky, it's got to be a balanced attack.
Stick with the company. Shot clock now 3. Chapman threw it up. Shot clock went off. They play on, and Washington. Chapman swatted by Sheboy. 7th block for the Cats. Washington. Here's Wright off the curl. Robbins for 3. He's now 2 for 4 from deep. Sheboy wanted the lob. Washington corner. Another.
Try to post up Wheeler. Doesn't have any better luck there. Tough night for number 2 offensively.
3 turnovers to go with a 2 for 14 shooting night. Oscar Sheboy, triple team. Toppin to Ty. Right. Again.
He's had an answer every single time. Best thing he did there was quiet the crowd just a little bit. This game was close to getting out of hand. Keep it within striking distance for the under 4 timeout. Give yourself a chance.
Sheboy got Robbins in the air. Dump down to Ty Washington.
Hasselton out on top, the feed inside. And Fleming missed a layup. And the rebound comes off to Keon Brooks. Ty Washington up off the window, off the.
And you're with my guy. Well, and again, Kermit Davis does this. He'll take a few trips. We'll have folks like Sam join them for a road trip. Meanwhile, here's Ty Watt, 10. Joyner with 4. Those two with the 14 of the 27 for Ole Miss. This is trouble. Wheeler, always a blur. Washington, transition 3. I'm just telling you, into the paint. This is where he's dangerous. Grady. Sheboy, the offensive rebound. Washington, count it.
Within that program, I was talking with Scott Drew today. I don't think you should put a ceiling on how far Baylor can go this year. I know they've got injuries, but man, there's a strength and a belief and an uncommon, authentic in terms of who they are with inside the program right now. I think Baylor
From right outside of Memphis, he's got 23.
Kentucky better keep playing, because Morrell and Joyner can jump up and make shots now and get on a 6-0 run all by themselves.
An 8-point game. Washington back-to-back bucket.
Might be the best defensive team in the conference. Williams.
Points allowed, right? The number one.
Had very few turnovers, but they had one there. Washington will try to take advantage of it. Williams bangs it against the glass. 63. 4-point game. 4 minutes to play. Washington, tough shot, baseline, got it. 5 guys in blue jerseys left. So they've conceded, I guess, at this point, as Washington takes a shot off the window and it goes.
Numbers from that game. You see Ty Washington had a big game. He is in the starting lineup and on the floor tonight. Number 3 had his leg rolled up in that Florida game, and it was very scary. And there he's rebound put back up, and it's been all Colin Castleton for the Gators.
Yeah, Castleton's got great hands to run that rebound down out of area and shoot that soft little running floater for a 6'11 guy. Hard to guard.
So what was that? Just a reminder timeout, literally? Like, make sure someone's glued to 31?
Absolutely. He has, Kellen Grady, gravity ability as much as anyone in this league.
Florida's the team that ball fakes everybody. That's how. DeRuggi given space. He will launch. The 3, no good. Castleton. And that ball is won by Washington.
Good job by Washington. Get involved in the fight from that guard spot. And just continue to short closeout on Washington and Wheeler.
Appleby is the guy fronting Sheboy down on the baseline. Ty throws another one up, and it goes in. Shooters.
It's Appleby. And he re-injured what was already an earlier injury, and how quick can he respond in this game?
It started with Flanders Fleming's rebound. Washington forces it again, and that time he gets it to go in the paint.
Kentucky's ball. What I mean by that, only 7% of Kentucky's shots get blocked in conference play. Only 7 out of 100.
Whoa! But he lead Colin Castleton in his push for Carolina. Kellen Grady knocked it away, and here comes Kentucky. Washington with an easy layup, and they will run when they can.
Early in the game, they were not ready for that, and it hurt them. He said they have to take better shots. If not, it's going to be a Kentucky jailbreak. And I was also standing beside the South Carolina huddle, and it was interesting because Keyshawn Bryant stood in the middle of it, looked at his teammates, and said, y'all ain't shown
3 or 4 possessions ago.
Yeah. Hand off to Kusnardi, lost it, and an easy one here for Washington.
And that's irritating for Frank Martin to come out of it.
Starting to pile up both points and rebounds. Ty Washington, a dagger 3 right there. He's got all about a close game. Whatever it takes.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I like it.
Whoa. Washington, another quick release. Boy, is he smooth. That's a 2. 14. And South Carolina hanging around with 4 1/4 to go.
Kentucky needs to stay patiently aggressive on the offensive end. There's a fine line. They're going to go 2-circle for Washington again.
He checks the clock quickly with 7 to go on the shot clock.
That's good action.
The floater, Ty Washington.
That is so good. It was a smoke.
Looks like a catcher out there with all the gear on. Cal asks his guys to let him be calm in this game. He referenced the 1995 UMass Kentucky game. Ty Washington off the window, and he said, you know, in that game I was losing. See where Grady ends up.
Well, they're going 2-circle with Ty being the 2 right now. J.D. Davison just caboosing Washington on that baseline screening action. Off the switch, Washington got it. Davidson was right behind him. Tremendous. Zach Calipari wanted his guys to do the building alive. Ty Washington will put them in their seats. Good screen by Wheeler. College basketball has become a much more physical game in just one season as Ty Washington hits the mid-range. He is killing Alabama with a pull-up game. Davidson, a wild pass picked up by Mintz. Saved by Wheeler. 3-on-2. And Ty Washington gets it. Energy in the building. Nate Oates is trying. But John Calipari very happy to continue to grind this thing away with some long offensive possessions. Kentucky shooting 38%. Alabama shooting 28%. It's like a fight between the two town drunks. They just keep missing each other, but they're still bloodied and bruised. Washington with his first triple. One away. Breakaway for Mann. Blocked by Toppin. Oh my goodness, he got ball. Washington got it.
But yeah, Tyler Appleby was fabulous down the stretch. Confident to go to the free throw line every time and knock him in.
You see Joe Lenardi right now has Florida as a 12. You don't gain a ton with that win, but you could lose a lot if you drop that game if you're Florida.
3-2 zone defense.
Washington on a runner, gets the friendly bounce.
Need that screen to force the shot rather than let him turn the corner by trailing him.
Baji at better than 21 a game misses his mid-range jumper. Washington with a burst of speed, and it goes.
You said, you know, the greatest maybe at blocking shots.
And Bill Russell, the lefty, puts that hand up there, challenges everybody with the right.
Washington, pull-up jumper, got it.
Love his middle game, this kid. Ringing the bell because of it.
Yep.
Making it easier. Make them play a little more half court.
Washington, Kessler on a switch off.
Oscar should be begging for the ball in the low post area.
Washington.
Look at that
over
shot.
Kessler. And he hit the deck hard.
Now 0 of 3 from the free throw line. Does not look comfortable there tonight.
Under 5 minutes to go. Washington rise and fire right between the eyes of Washington. Pretty. Ty.
To start, but a beautiful tribute to the late, great Joe B. Hall.
Olivier Kamwa, the junior from Helsinki, Finland, gets Tennessee on the board. The Vols, on a number of occasions, have had trouble scoring, especially early in games. They have fallen behind and come back to win some. They can ill afford to fall too far behind against Kentucky here in this one.
Kennedy Chandler making it really difficult on Ty Washington coming off that little dribble handoff, and the pressure is intense.
Washington, though, so tough to speed him up.
That's the first miss, I think, for Kentucky right there.
Shibwe runs one down at the offensive end, gets him a fresh possession. Ty Washington makes it pass. Not only Tennessee fans, but Rick Barnes and the rest of the coaching staff as well.
Just a great competitor and super tough.
Back cut, Ty Washington. How do you size up the top part of the league? These two teams, Auburn, LSU, Alabama's got a good team as well. How do you size up, say, the top 4 or 5 in the league?
I think that another great shot fake by Vescovy.
Powell, no. And down to Brooks. Kentucky is at Texas A&M on the SEC Network Wednesday night. Aggies are off to a 3-0 start in league play. Then they're at for Bob McKillop at Davidson. Well over 200 threes, over 2,000 points, a 4-year starter. And boy, is he playing well right now for Kentucky.
And he might very well have stayed, but Davidson doesn't have graduate programs. I think he made the right choice. He's been a tremendous addition here.
Washington having a sense
against the Buffaloes in that altitude, and he was just magical on pick and roll situations, made every right decision. And he's third in the league in assists, average over 5 a game, and his assist turnover ratio is terrific.
7th made 3 of the game for Tennessee. And here's the answer from
Washington.
Vescovy banks it home at the other end. Kentucky at 64 points already. Make it 67.
Starters last year averaged 7-8 points a game, and they're both averaging over 20 this year. But if the Wooden Award ended today and it doesn't, I would give it to Oscar Tshiebwe. Well, if I didn't give it to him, he'd grab it with both hands and take it anyway.
24-point lead. Make it 27.
That makes this win even more impressive to me, and the way Kentucky's played, is that Tennessee's really good. I mean, look, they've had some issues shooting the ball. I mean, we did that Texas Tech game where Madison Square Garden had to repaint the rims after, and both teams couldn't.
5 games after suffering a knee injury in the preseason. So it's Shane Dezzoni with making his first start of the year. Meanwhile, for Kentucky, there's Davion Mintz. He makes his first start. As you mentioned, Xavier Wheeler is out for a second straight game due to the neck injury.
Well, Mintz was a starter last year. He was Kentucky's leading scorer, leading assist guy for a team that only won 9 games. And how many games?
The terrific numbers this year. There is Pippen right at the bucket. Too strong off the window.
Beautiful drive off the high ball screen. Just couldn't get it to fall. And those are shots. You know, Vanderbilt cannot miss layups, and they certainly cannot turn the ball over.
There's Washington attacking again.
Really have to communicate.
Miles Studi rattled out. There is Tshiebwe. Averaging better than 15 rebounds per game. The nation's leader. Washington again. Lost to Duke opening night. Notre Dame as well, but 12-3. Off to a fine start overall. A couple of signature wins as well. Looking to get to 2, make it 3-1 in league play. Washington off the bounce.
This has really, in a way, helped Ty Washington to blossom. And when he can get back off the ball, you've got a guy that can run the point and that can hunt his own offense when Wheeler's in there to run the show.
They're both brilliant. They bring something different to the table in a sense each. There's Washington again on the pull. Durham, Ontario. Very reliable shooter. Bryce Hopkins into the game, the freshman. He chases down his own miss. Washington, that mid-range game.
Score, watch that one go down and pop out. And so there is Ty. He has started every game he's played this year. Dane, his numbers are impressive. He can score. He's a good distributor. Plays so well in the flow of the game, as John Calipari has said all year. Here he is on the pull-up. That's good.
He's so...
Keon Brooks pings that one off the backboard. Washington in a hurry. Count it! He's the top player in the class of 2022, although he's done with high school.
Yep.
Now he's out. He's enrolled. He's part of the team.
No plans to play him yet. No plans to...
They weren't wrong.
They weren't wrong.
Didn't realize they were offending you either. Here's Ty Washington, been a competitive. The young freshman, boy, he's smooth.
But Kevin, how spoiled are we that Oscar Tshiebwe has 12 points and 10 rebounds in the first half?
Right.
And we bypass him on the highlight package.
He gets bumped.
We're not taking you for granted, Tshiebwe. It's just the story right now is the point guard play.
Boy, he gets edited out of the whole highlight pack. Dane, Kentucky has played Georgia 157 times. They've won 83% of those games. That's staggering. Well, they didn't win the latest. That was last January when Georgia won in Athens. Washington slips to the 5-point game. Washington, pulls up beautifully.
Star in that big non-conference win against Memphis.
Oh, wow, the blow by Ty.
Everybody to stand down and now jump up. And it's Kentucky and Sophia Wheeler that have the ball first. Kentucky starters, 13 of 14 games, 10-2. As you take a look at their starting five, Wheeler takes it all the way on the baseline. That guy is a special player. Ty Washington.
Into that without having any idea it was there.
LSU is a physical defense, and we've seen that already tonight. And the Pete Maravich, the PMAC Assembly Center is full. Dale Brown Court unveiled tonight. He'll speak at the half. And of course, whenever Kentucky's in town at LSU, they fill the place. Ty Washington hesitates and gets it to go.
White and the Panthers of High Point in purple, coming in at 6-7 on the year, hailing from the Big South Conference. Kentucky wins the tip. We're underway from Rupp Arena.
You know, Mike, rarely will you have John Calipari say the words he said after the Missouri game. He said, hey, we're good. He said, we defensively we're good, we rebound. If we push the basketball and get our fast pace going, we... Oh. Good backdoor cut right there.
Sheboy rips down another rebound. Ty Washington.
Pressure, you just got to handle it and move the ball up the court.
That last dime, by the way, dropped by Ty Washington. 5 assists for the freshman in this game. He's got the ball on the wing. Little two-man game with Sheboy. And Ty can do that as well.
Matchup zone defense, get it right to the middle, go to work.
Deep three on the way. And
see, I mean, you couldn't do anything better than that.
No, and of course, the Stoops brothers with ties to Iowa.
Yeah.
They're playing football there, defensive backs. That's like the Larry Bird 60-point night.
Against the Hawks.
Against the Hawks, where the Hawks players got fined because they were laughing and cheering Bird by the end of the game. Wide open, Ty with a...
And you see not only the 2 turnovers, but there is indeed Missouri's first foul. So nothing much for the Tigers 1 minute in. Here's Ty Washington. Tees up and buries. Pickett blows by Grady. Now the kick out. Brazil, a little strong.
That's a shame for Missouri. You can't get a better look in that
field. Washington. You're ranking rebounders from the last 2 decades.
Just know I'm always ranking the former players.
Hosts.
The former players always get ranked above the host.
There's Washington. He wants a free. Yes, splashes it. Half. Gordon dribbled that one off of Wheeler's foot. Rolled out to a Tiger. Here's Washington. Yes. To Washington. Step back. 15-footer. And Sheboy tracks down his 15th board. Grady. That's strong. It's a 3rd chance for Kentucky. And Washington puts it against 3 quality opponents. Jerron Coleman out to Davis. He wants it. And Missouri, a fast start to the second half, but it has been a cold finish since about the midway mark. And Washington,
Kentucky's way. And a little left-handed runner in lane. How about Davion McKnight getting inside and ripping one down?
He's the heartbeat of Western Kentucky's team. All freshman team, Conference USA last year, having a really good start to this season.
And Brooks will challenge and then say, no, that's not a good idea. Washington, the baseline jumper.
Well, they have pretty good balance, Ravi. They are very good off the bounce. I think they're settling a little bit early in this game. You know, perimeter shots from Crampton and Justice you can live with. That's a play right there. Anderson's got to drive that thing to the rim.
Sugar. Free throw line jumper. No goaltend there. Washington pulled his hand back. And now Wheeler pushes. That's a 3. Anderson in the paint, throws it up in the left hand. They needed that.
Yeah, they got to be aggressive. You got to put it on the floor and take it to this back line of the Kentucky defense.
That's a 20-point push. It's going to be an awful lot harder without Sharp. Cameron Justice up to 6.
Washington one-on-one, good help defense there. Wheeler, pretty, just open. Points starting to pile up in Justice as he lays one in off the window. Wheeler went all the way to his knees, and Ty Washington. But he said, I work for my family. For the first time, he went back home over the summer in 6 years. So there's a lot of that commitment to not only the craft of basketball, but to what he feels his responsibility is to his family. And certainly the program here that he transferred to. Easy layup. Oriema had that happen with Paige Beckers recently, and she had knee surgery. His point when he was asked about that after the game was, I like my team much better when she's on the floor. I don't care what the score is. I don't like my team without her on the floor. 8 rebounds, so he's 2 rebounds shy of 30. Remember Kellen Grady had a good night tonight? You kind of forget about that.
Well, they're discarding.
You were pushing me around last night. Inside. There's the offensive rebound, and he missed the dunk. Comes out to Wheeler, though.
I love this kid's heart, though. Sheboy.
Washington pull up. Got it.
I noticed Brady didn't even look for this.
6 on the shot clock. A runner by Davis. I think he was trying to draw the foul from Wheeler. Didn't get it and didn't get the basket either.
They go side to side, making the D work.
Deep 3 for Washington. Got it. Boy, what a stroke. That was right.
They're moving the ball, though.
Sure are. There's a runner. No foul called there. Washington got it back, and for 15, he buried it.
Too many opportunities.
I agree. And John Calipari said, you know, we need this. And when there was some discussion about who we're going to play, should we come out here with the COVID situation and all of that, and he said, you know, playing Carolina, it's good for us. We got to figure out who we are, what we are, and coming off the loss to Notre Dame, they were looking forward to this, and they're playing like they were looking forward to it.
He is tough.
It's a game. He can be a real factor. Atkinson Jr. will spin inside, and it won't drop for him. Brooks will take another rebound. He had 22 points, 8 rebounds against Ohio, so he is very capable of a big game.
A good job by Ryan trying to blow up that dribble handoff to Ty Washington.
Ty with a shot and a fun drive. No official details on that yet. It's forthcoming in the next day or so. But they're going to get very actively involved and hope that everyone else does too to support those victims as best they can. Sheboy on top here for Washington.
Kentucky really looking to turn the corner and try to get into the paint, but the catch spot. You have to make Dane Goodwin put the ball on the deck. He's still dangerous, but not as dangerous.
Vince back out for Washington. A little floater in the lane. Nicely done.
Got a chance to talk to both Coach Woods and Richie Farmer about it.
We got a few of those unforgettables in the house today. We'll tell you more about that. Kentucky wins the opening tip. The Wildcats in white. Same starting 5 that you've seen most of the year, including the man with the ball, Xavier Wheeler, the Georgia transfer, who gives off to the most talented of the freshmen.
Damian Collins got sucked into the paint just a little too far. Thought he had enough time to recover.
Southern all over the place. Tenacious defense. Drive by Washington. Reverse layup is good. Mrs. Cal's Instagram following by my wife, who's a longtime Kentucky native and Kentucky fan. And she said, you've got to cover this. You've got to follow this. It's coming up on 9 minutes to go.
Okay, compete on the glass. Check, right? Southern's doing that. Then running, an opportunity for an easy bucket. They've done it all game.
A 7-0 run by the Jaguars.
See, we get an inside-out move here. Good pass.
Washington on a pull-up. That's what I was waiting for more of. Kentucky's got him trapped in the corner and causes the turnover. Sheboy to Washington all the way. Washington makes it look easy as he... For a team that's on the year averaging 83 points a game. That's second in the SEC, 30th in the country. They trail Alabama in the Southeastern Conference for points per game. Alabama right about 84 per game. Little floater by corner three on the way, and that one is perfect.
And they'll get him a few different ways. That's one way. They like to play through the post. And then you saw the previous possession try to run off some screens.
Healy, a 50% three-point shooter on the year. Coming into this one was 8 of 16. Ty.
That helps. That's high percentage basketball.
No good by Grady. Jackson, stop the inside. Blocked by Ware.
Great pass. The pass will always move faster than the dribble.
Central Michigan with 22 now. Kentucky's biggest lead was 31, 45-14. Kentucky with 48 points. It's the most they have scored in a half this season. They had 46.
About the only player in this entire arena that's had a triple-double.
I would either say Pat Bradley or Severe Wheeler, and I would be partially correct because Wheeler.
That statement, it would be correct. Because someone in that statement has had a triple-double.
I would.
The zone. Get it to that free throw line or that short corner. It's going to be where the openings are. If the Chippewas are back in zone.
10. Washington steps inside the arc. Got it. His first basket. Washington, man, what a night. He just can't buy one. That was halfway down the cylinder. Little floater this time goes. Allen will try for three. No good. Shibwe. This is incredible watching him rebound the basketball. Ty. Fine. Boy, had nowhere to go. Ran right into a couple of big men in Collins and Shibwe. Washington got it. There is Adedoye knocking that home. His first basket is a three-pointer. Brady 4 out of 5 here in the second half. He was scoreless in the first half.
He came out, you could see it in his eye. They ran him off three-point line a couple times. Nice couple pull-ups.
Ooh. Oh, hey now. Really good wide open looks at threes. Didn't go down. He'll head to the bench 1 of 6 from behind.
He's going to be thinking about those all night.
Excuse me, 0 for 4 from behind the arc. Washington misses, gets it back, knocks that one home. Report on him when he starts knocking those down. Nice entry pass, quickly double teamed in the post is Paul Newman. That won't go. Here comes Kentucky. Ty Washington in the open floor. Now to the middle. Little floater. Just 16 from the field until he got cranked up in their last game. Shibwe, the easy rebound. Ty in the lane and count it. He'll head to the line. Baseline jumper no good from Doles. Here's Wheeler.
See how he just pulls that out, Dave? He doesn't take it into nothing and force up a bad shot. Probably a younger player, a less experienced player would do that. Instead, you try.
Bucket. Kettner gets on the board. His first basket of the game.
Albany's been really able to penetrate Kentucky's defense and get the spots in the lane that's created great opportunities to score.
Boy, that's just a tough shot for Washington trying to get it going here in the second half. Gets his own miss. Maybe that'll get
side. They're just going to crowd him anytime he's in a pick and roll.
Both teams just 1 for their last 7 from the field. Catch and shoot. Washington knocks it in the corner. 10 to shoot. Brooks had it blocked. Picked up by Washington. Weaving. Misses no. Follow up, yes. Ty.
Freshman.
Mismatch.
Open three on the way from the wing, kicks off, and ripping away the rebound is Hopkins.
But you can see why Vanderplas averages more than 3 assists a game.
Washington on it from way downtown.
You see Hopkins look over at Cal and shrug his shoulders. Trust me, that's not going to work with Cal.
Yeah. What a half for Vanderplas, leading all scorers with 10. 13 points to lead all scorers. He only averages 15. And none of them have been easy. I mean, these are deep, often contested threes. Washington, Euro step, gets the friendly bounce off the back. Shibwe.
McDay had fumbled that ball.
Shibwe, why not? Shibwe again. Shibwe pops out to Washington. Nothing but the freshman out of Duncan Falls, Ohio. He got that pass, and within about a half a second, it was up for 3.
Man, if you play for the Bobcats, you come off the bench, you've got the green light.
Just stick him in the microwave and let him shoot. Washington on a stop and pop. Silky Phoenix. They've got players from all kinds of states, 10 different countries, but finally landed one from Arizona. Washington gonna send that one back home to Arizona. The nation's leading rebounder has 5 despite playing just a minute in the first half. Break zone here at Rupp. 9-point lead for Kentucky. Washington wheeling, dealing, got it. That's.
He said, I petitioned the NCAA to allow us to play an extra 10 minutes every game so I could spread those minutes around, but they have denied that request. Here's Ty Washington from the elbow. Well, if they can get him going, he'll be a difference. And he took me under his wing early on, talked ball with me all the time, and was just an incredibly nice person. So when I got the award, it was a big deal.
Yeah, left his mark on college basketball, especially at the Mount, and has had a program that's got other great players. Now, Davidson, when you're leading scorer, he took 14 shots per game, 7 3-pointers per game. He may have nights he doesn't get a lot of those shots. There might be nights he can.
Dante Allen couldn't get it to rattle home. John Calipari talked about Dante with us today, and he said we've got some things that can help him defensively. And it's obvious how much Cal has preached that. Dante is a huge fan favorite. We saw what he did against Mississippi State last year. Ty gets it to the rim and in. Cats had their hands full on opening night against Duke. And their talented duo. Shibwe on the glass again. Rebound number 7. Here's Wheeler. To Ty Washington for 3. Great shape ever, but bottom line, no moping. And so CJ, great shooter, lost for the year. I thought that would be perfect balance with Wheeler and Shibwe and Grady to have a guy who could really stretch the defense like Frederick, who was so good from perimeter at Iowa.
Yeah, Tom, you're right. The options it would have given of what he told the coach, though. See, if I want to get 20, then it's in the coach's mind. And the coaches kind of leave you longer than they probably would.
That's right.
Hard dribble, kick out pass. Rise and fire on a deep 2. Off the mark that time by Rasheem Dunn. Wheeler, drive and kick. Washington on a floater, nothing but the bottom of the net. Kentucky. Washington racing into front court. Open 3 for Mintz. Shibwe again with another rebound. That's 8 already in the first half.
You know, Mike, you talked about those minutes, but they don't have that many minutes of playing together as you see that nice.
Hey, going for the steal. Almost forced a turnover. Shot clock at 4. There's a steal by Washington. Washington on the finish.
Nice. But his ability to block shots is something that Coach Cal talked about, and we've seen that early today.
Baseline jumper is wet.
Pretty basketball, the shot fake, and then the pass by Michael Green, the third.
Washington, the most decorated recruit in this Kentucky class.
And mature for a freshman, and that's him. A little bit strong, and guess who gets the rebound? Who else but Sheboy?
That's his 6th offensive rebound. That's helping to keep Kentucky just a possession down. Now just a point.
Boy, how under control was Keels there as he navigated his way into the paint.
Well, it was after he just got an offensive foul, so that's a pretty mature play to come back and make that type of play.
Washington sneaks inside, and he knocks it down. This is
forcing the smaller 5'9" Xavier Wheeler to guard the much bigger and stronger Trevor Keels in the post. That's the definition of a mismatch defensively.
Sheboy didn't want to take the shot. The length of Williams was there. Washington gets the bounce.